Hello, this is Gauntlet Gone Godbound, the modified version as written in the Akashic Records, and we have an all-star cast. And pun kinda intended, but not really. But let us introduce ourselves. Let's start with whoever.
I'm Lowell.
Uh,
There we go. How's that?
yes,
I'll just
Lowell,
do that.
yes,
We'll get that
please.
out of the gate. That's who I am. So I run a lot of worldwide wrestling this weekend, and I will run more. So that's me.
Cool. Jay.
I'm Matt J. We've probably gamed together somewhere. I'll be running Tenra Bancho Zero this weekend. That's me.
Most complicated game you can run online. That's great. I'm Mark. I'm running Cartel tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to it. And I'm excited to play Godbound because Brendan, who's also here, is a big fan. So I'm pumped to see this thing happen.
All right. And Brendan.
I'm a big fan of Godbound, as Mark said. I have run 2 long ongoing campaigns, and I have never gotten to play once, so I am super excited.
Yeah, that we're not dealing with Dominion, first of all. And also because it's a one-shot, so we can't really deal with Dominion. So let's get on with character creation. I will close this. I mean, not link this tab. Let's see. I will get rid of whichever character column we're not using. Please go to the start here tab if you are able to, so we can decide. So we can go through character creation for this modified version. So there's a link to the drive-through if you don't have the rulebook. I'm assuming everyone does at this point. So the first step is your attribute scores, which is standard D&D stuff. And it's 16, 14, 13, 13, 10, and 8. Just worry about the scores. The modifiers and the checks are calculated automatically because sheets were made with players in mind.
Cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Strength is your melee bonus. Dexterity is your range bonus for the combat stuff.
Well, standard D&D fair, but
yeah.
Right. And to be fair, if any of your words change your attribute scores, you're free to change them around and min max if you are if you so wish. The other thing, before we continue, this game will use the X card, so cross your hands like this, arms like that, or type X on the chat if you need to. If you come across some content that you don't want to see, I may ask for clarification if I'm not sure, but otherwise it will be completely off the table. Apart from that, I will run this more story gamey because I am less of an OSR person and more of a story game person. I just like Godbound because of the premise, and I just like Godbound, period.
I got my stuff set up. I'm a wisdom 16.
Right. Cool.
I don't really know what that means, but I think I'm very wise.
Yes, that is. Yeah. Have you played Dungeon World? Because it's the same modifiers.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's great. Sounds good.
Yeah. And
I took the 16 in intelligence. I'm cheating. I'm looking at everybody else's scores, and so to make sure there's no overlap.
Lowell and I are both intelligence 8. That's great. Oh, this is good.
Don't have to be smart.
You just have to hit things really hard.
I know word good.
Facts. Let us decide upon the origin. Like, what world are you from? Because this is a game where it's a multiverse, so you are from anywhere.
You mean like there's many dimensions?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That sounds cool. And when you say that we're astral, we serve the different astral princes.
Yes, that is on the second tab in the start here.
Okay.
There is a list of astral princes. That is step 3, but you can decide what your character is like from looking at
Cool.
step 2, and then we'll go to step 3.
So what's the sort of like technology level of the world that we're in, or do we go between dimensions where there's many different technology levels?
We'll decide that as we play.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. All right, so can I say I want to be like from a far, I don't know, far future, like Minority Report, Blade Runner, like future world.
So cyberpunk, cool.
I think, but I don't know. So is that cyberpunk? I guess it's cyberpunk. Cyberpunk, but cool instead of dumb. That's what I want.
Oh, so more post cyberpunk.
Yeah, I think like the world where like. Yeah, I guess it's just cyberpunk.
Yes, it is.
Why you say that disappointed?
Yeah.
I'm
it's
sorry to
just
burst your bubble.
cyberpunk. No, you're right.
It's just cyberpunk.
All right, so I'm gonna have a cyberpunk.
Mhm.
Cyberpunk.
Okay. And
Legacy.
apart from Origin, well, we have the rest of the players, but apart from Origin, we have Past Career, which is what were you doing before you served your Astral Prince?
Cool. So can I be like, I'm a homicide detective
All right, cool. Go full Minority Report. Yes.
from a cyberpunk mega city?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And relationship, just make up a faction that you want me to introduce. Or attempt to
Alright, cool.
introduce in 3 hours. So, your relationship with that faction. And yeah. So, yeah, it's like once you have your origin, past career, and faction, let me this. Ooh, we have someone from Elfhelm. Or Elfhelm.
Yeah,
So
I'm
is it
looking up
like
the
a
spelling, but I think the pronunciation is
Alfheim?
right. Yes.
Uh, I think it's Alfheim, or let me spell that. Oh, without the 0 because I accidentally typoed that. If that's what you mean,
Yes.
yeah, it's just you're an elf, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And and the other 2 you don't have. You're still thinking?
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. Right. Let's wait a bit, or at least bounce up ideas if we're cool with that. So, what do you think is really cool or really badass?
Let me think here.
And anyone else pitching ideas, I guess, and or suggest?
I'm currently reading a lot of Celtic and Irish mythology, so it's sort of in my head, and so I'm thinking as I mishmash it as I choose. Maybe I'll do. I'm from Tirnanog, which is understood in this one to be like the magical land of the young that's in an island that you were theoretically supposed to go to when you're dead. You sail to.
So it's
And
like, and let me interrupt you a bit.
totally.
So is it like Celtic Afterlife?
Yeah, basically.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
And I'm supposed to defend it. I'm the angel at the gate with the burning sword kind of idea, except not that specific image. But like, I'm making sure people who aren't supposed to be there aren't there. Because all those pesky friggin' heroes that keep getting on boats and they're like, I want to go to heaven. And I'm like, no.
Me too, me too.
No.
And Lowell has a Russo fantasy wasteland as his origin.
I picture
Or their
fantasy realm where Baba Yaga's taken over and runs everything, and it's sort of a mix of fantasy animals and humans running around doing stuff, and essentially an ex-guardsman for the Yaga secret police.
Secret
checking
police.
in,
That sounds
kicking down the doors of little rabbit holes, throwing open their cupboards, checking for squirreled away nuts and things like that, that kind of thing.
That sounds kind of like Narnia, but metal.
But
Oh,
metal,
yeah.
Yeah.
There's
I
no
have
act
changed my
plan.
origin.
All right. So let us go to relationship, which is the faction that you know about.
I have to ask
let
Jay,
me.
though, before that, what Hellhelm?
Yes.
That may be more metal than what I said. So
That's the Norse
Hellhelm.
realm of the unrespectable dead.
Ooh. So we have a lot of. Is it undead? Are your characters undead, or is it just? Oh, hey, we protect the afterlife, but.
I think everyone there is dead. I don't know that he's undead, right? Maybe we can figure out what happened here in play. But I think that's where the dead go.
Yes. Or some dead, because there are other dead that go to Tirnanog.
Right. The dishonorable dead go here.
All right, cool. What is a faction that is involved in your world? That would be your relationship aspect, or aspect. I'm talking in fate terms. I mean, but yeah, you could define a faction that you're somehow related to. It doesn't have to be positive. So
this faction is from this dimension that we're talking about.
your home dimension, yes.
I picture that I was raised by wolves, but they're like not like scary wolves. They're wolves, with little coats on, walking on their hind legs, doing stuff. They're very sophisticated wolves. They teach me table manners, that kind of thing. So I was raised by them. They had pocket watches.
So anti-werewolves.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Let's see if anyone else has filled their stuff in. Alright. And here's my honest thinking. I'm not sure if I can introduce all of these factions, so just pick something up or make something up, and we can go from there.
And they're primarily used this for skill rolls, right? For checks and things. Okay.
All right, I'll
So
say that my that I have like a corporation that I angered by, like, I don't know, crossing them in some important way. It doesn't really matter, right? Like, so I'll come up with a cool name for it, like a megacorp. Is that cool? So it's to be like negative?
You don't have to put just put the name of the corp and your whatever, if it's negative or positive or what you did.
Cool.
It doesn't matter as long as it's clear what your relationship is.
Okay, great.
And Brendan seems to have slain 4 more.
Yep. They're these, horrible monsters that have always been at war with my people, and we don't see them as people, so we just murder them. We're really nice. Did I mention that?
Yeah, I've heard that Celtic mythology is not nice.
No.
We're pretty nasty.
Yeah. And Jay, what do you have? Thief. You are an Arcana thief and thief of souls. Does that mean that? What do you mean by that relationship?
I think there's a faction that so the dishonorable dead go to Helhelm. I think there's a faction that are taking souls that are not dishonorable, and maybe they're bringing them back, and maybe that's what I do for them. I help them steal those souls that shouldn't be here, and bring them back here. If that works.
So let me get this straight.
Mhm.
You grab the souls that are dishonorable or not dishonorable, and
Not dishonorable.
and bring them back to Helheim
Yes.
or Helhelm.
Yes.
Ooh, that is interesting.
So maybe it's all secretive, and maybe that's where the badness is. I don't know.
Cool. All right. Let's go to Astral Prince. I have a small list here to make things simple and not spend too much on character creation. Each one picks a different one, if that's okay with you guys. And I would like you to define a bit more of on each on your specific Astral Prince that you serve. And there's a drop-down list as well, so.
So just to make sure for our purposes, should we each be sure to pick a different Astral Prince, or can more than one of us be attached to the same?
Since it determines your words as well, I would prefer it if it's from different Astral Princes. Just if you do pick the same one, just make sure to pick different secondary words.
Great.
All right.
So it'll help us a little bit if we talk to each other and make sure we don't steal each other's if anybody has their heart set on
Yes.
Right.
I was looking at Sirius and Algol.
Cool. All right. And anyone
Mute.
else?
I was thinking Algol or Aldebaran.
All right. So we have a bit of overlap there. Jay, do you have any?
I was looking at Alcor or Canopus.
Oh, cool. And Mark? You're muted.
I would do Canopus or Deneb.
All right.
I will take Alcor.
All right, cool.
I'll do Canopus then.
Mhm.
Canopus.
Canopus, but I'm not gonna be picky about pronunciation. And
Brendan, how do you feel?
I could easily, I think, make it make sense either way with what I'm thinking. So if you want to leave Algol open so you can pick it, I'll just stick with Sirius. That's really cool with me.
And then that is what I'm going to do, because you're a generous person.
Right.
I'm going to take Algol.
all right, cool. And just pick words right now. Before we get to step 4, would you like to describe your Astral Prince more, each of you?
So what do the Astral Princes do? Like what?
They are. So they are these, like I said before we started the broadcast. They are quasi-divine beings. They were tasked with protecting the Akashic Records, which is a database of everything. So these specific ones just decided that they weren't gonna do that anymore one day, and are now plotting and scheming against each other. So this, and we don't have to say that they're super antagonistic. Like they could, like you could work together if you so wish, but they have their own plans for the multiverse. So with the prompts that are there, you can. I'm hoping you can think of whatever the ones you picked are about.
All right.
All right. So, do we have any idea? Or do we want to?
So they like snatched us from our dimensions and transformed us. Is that the idea? Like that's why we have this imprint on us.
They, for whatever reason, they have chosen you,
Okay.
and either you accepted or you were forced to, depending on how you want to play it out. But they have, yes, left their mark on you, and you are now serving them.
Cool, great. So I'll say Canopus actually, he's nervous about all of his. They're almost like siblings, right? Like all these other like mid-tier gods. He's nervous about their machinations, and so he has forcibly plucked me from my realm to try to keep them in check and discover their plots and see through their schemes. And so he, I don't know what his reasons are for not tending to his duties, but he is concerned about the effects of all these other astral princes not doing their jobs, despite not doing his job himself. So I'm not sure what his real scheme is. Is that cool? Is that like what you're looking for? Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Great.
And we can say, yeah, like he's too concerned with his brethren to look at the bigger picture and realize that he's not doing the job himself. So that sounds good enough for me.
Cool.
All right, Jay.
I think Alcor, I think the rider of the pale horse, I think she has grabbed up some of the greatest thieves across the multiverse. I think maybe she has found something in the Akashic record and stashed that away, and she sent these thieves out looking for different things. We haven't talked to each other, so we're not working together. I think she has the big idea. Maybe her intention is finding whatever this thing is, that she's not doing her duties anymore.
All right, cool. Next up, let's go with Brendan. What is series about?
I think, honestly, I think Sirius is an incredibly proud, arrogant, and desiring of dominance type figure. He normally appears in either an aspect as a wolf with golden fur and the sun is like always behind his head, or he's a man in like wolf armor, like the Hound from Game of Thrones kind of thing. But it's golden armor and the sun is always behind his head and he's got a giant epic bow. And he approaches things very much from this: I am a noble sun wolf. I am this incredible celestial being. And I'm leader of the pack. I am the wolf. You cannot be more alpha of a wolf than I am. And I should be in charge of everybody and everything as a result. And so he's sort of, I think, offended by the notion that that the other Astral Princes are not behind him in the pack.
And Lowell. You made it. Oh, one.
So Algol is, he was real strong, and people dig that, about him, and so he's a little insecure though, because he's not really a vision guy, not a real planner guy. So just kind of does stuff, and he gets people to do things. He does it pretty well. Kind of has to go sometimes to his siblings and ask them maybe what to do, but Algol does it.
So as a servant, you're just another big dude as well?
Yeah, and I picture that Algol probably asks servants to, so that sounds right? Yeah, right? Yeah, that's what he says to his servants just to make sure,
Yeah.
Once he decides to do it, though, he does it.
Yes. All right. And let us make sure So, uh, wait, does it say sword or does it say sword?
You didn't have sword in the list, so I grabbed text.
Oh, okay. I am sorry because I must have messed up when I was modifying the.
You had everything else. I just grabbed off the text, so we're all good.
Okay, good, good. All right. Make sure you read what your words do because, for example, Lowell has might, or Lowell's character has might. So
I don't.
you do, or you
No,
don't?
Lowell personally does not. So yes, you guys were
Yeah,
right.
Lowell's character has might as a word, so you have a 19 strength automatically.
Okay.
Now,
So,
now you can put the intelligence, the 8 there, and make it a 19. If
I'm going to keep the 8, but I will swap it with the dexterity there.
yes, that is a good idea. Let's see anything that else that. Right, Jay has a another attribute racing word, and so does Mark. So you may do so now.
Oh yes, I took wisdom 18. I am so wise.
And yeah, you erased your dexterity. Okay, cool. All right. And let us go to gifts, in which case you need your book. It is pretty standard, except slightly modified, where you can only get greater gifts from your primary word, and you cannot buy gifts outside your bound words. I'm having that limitation for the sake of simplicity. If
And
that makes sense.
how many points are we getting?
6
6.
default.
Okay.
Right. So, well, so I guess you guys can do that, and I will mute myself so the audience doesn't have to like. Yeah.
Is there? So how do we can take lesser gifts or greater gifts? Like how does it work?
So greater gifts cost 2 points,
Okay, cool,
and lesser gifts cost 1 point.
awesome.
And for the sake of this game, you can only buy greater gifts from your primary word,
Okay,
and you cannot buy gifts outside either your primary or your secondary words.
okay. Is there a list of like common gifts?
List of common gifts.
Yeah, the universal gifts are available as well.
Oh yes, I will. I will let you have the universal gifts, which means I have to modify what. Like if you want effort of the word, I will
Yeah.
change that for your effort. So let me just make sure. I will change the values of effort. Hmm. Oh, sorry. Any questions, or if you're done, let me know.
Oh man, excellence. The word looks cool.
And for reference, after that, we are picking gear option. Not gear options, just gear in general. And then we will determine something that you have access to via the Akashic Records. And that is something that, like, a person, object, or location that you can just access. I'm gonna say once this session for whatever reason. Like if you need to escape, I will say, and you have a location, I will say that you can go to that location. Just open a portal and go there, for example. This is not part of the Godbound book. I was just making this for the sake of the modifications. Fist of Black Iron is a good choice. I'm just gonna say that.
Can you choose gifts from a secondary word that you did not choose? That's in your Princess domain?
Sorry, I was trying to find the unmute button. I was gonna say no, but thinking about that, you can buy them for 2 points.
Okay.
If you really want to. I am trying to look forward here on the list of time. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. And just so you guys know, I know a bit of, I know a few words in the, like a few gifts in the system, but I don't know all of them. So if it's okay, could, if you guys could, like, when you use a gift, let me know what its effects are. And for Mark's sake, well, you've read the book, so you know how effort works, right? All right, you're muted, but I can see you nodding.
Yeah,
so
for the most part, I know how it works.
Okay, cool. All right. I am glad that Mark did not choose any of the words or any of the other. Oh wait, no, you did. Crap. Now I have, like, do you know how sorcery works?
No, I'm gonna figure it out right now.
All right, cool. Go to let's go to it. 30. It is 30.
Yeah, I found it. Page 62. I'm good. I'll pick. What do I get? 5 of these? 4 of them? 4 of them.
4 of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and and then the page 62 of the book, 64 of at least my PDF, it tells you which what's the cost for casting it, like slowly, quickly, or instantly.
Cool.
and I think it also tells you how like if you need an arcane connection, this each invocation will tell you.
All right, awesome.
Right. And that is actually pretty weird, but also cool that your character is cyberpunk and yet no sorcery. We're doing it live. What do you mean, Brendan?
That Mark is going to have to learn sorcery as we go.
Nice.
Yes. All right. Yes. Good thing the rest of us are familiar with Godbound, or more familiar with Godbound, so we can help. All right. Is everyone good with their gifts, or do we need more time? Jay?
I'm good.
All right, cool. Let's go to the next step.
Yeah,
which
one of them
is-
cost me 2 points, so I'm one short.
Oh, you're one short. Okay.
So I'm good.
All right. And let us go to gear, which literally is what will your character have, and you have it. So if your character would have big weapons, they have big weapons. Or if they have whatever, they just have it. It's kind of fate-ish that way, I guess.
How does armor work again?
All right, armor. So there's 3 types of armor other than none.
Okay.
If you don't have any gift that give you armor already.
Mhm.
So no armor would give you an AC of 9. And by the way, AC is descending and AC is modified by dexterity. So no armor is 9, light armor is 7, medium armor is 5, and heavy armor is 3. Medium armor gives you a penalty on 1 saving throw, and heavy armor gives you a penalty on 2 saving throws. Your choice. And those are also automated, so for convenience sake. And Brendan, you're gonna have no armor or light armor?
I'm going with light.
Right. And so your armor class total will be 5 because your dexterity is 2.
Nice. Thank you.
No problem. And yeah. Anyone else need help with their gear, or are we all set? Mark, you're muted.
Damn it. Okay, so any other gear I want, I just have, but armor is special because we have to decide in advance how much I'm wearing. Is that
Yeah.
the idea?
Armor and weapons would be nice to know in advance.
I see. Okay, cool. So, so Brendan did what? Brendan has medium armor.
Light.
Light.
Light,
But
okay,
but
cool.
his dexterity modifies it so that it's lower than that. And this
I'm
is
just have no armor. Yeah, I'm good.
alright. And since this is old school, it is descending armor class, like I mentioned.
Okay, cool.
Hmm.
Okay, so if I go no armor, what am I?
Your armor class will be 7 because of your 2 dexterity modifier.
I think I'm good with that.
Mine is 9 because I have dexterity 10, right?
0.
Yeah, cool.
Or 0 modifier, rather. Alright. And we have 3 AC there.
Light doesn't
Oh,
have
low.
any penalties, does it? Light armor?
Light doesn't. Light doesn't have
Okay.
penalties.
I'll take
Low.
light.
Only one saving throw gets a penalty with medium armor.
Oh, I thought it was 2. Okay.
It's 2 with heavy armor.
Oh,
I will take the light armor.
Yeah. Light armor is usually better than no armor.
And so, what is the light armor provides? What advantage? Like +2?
Well, -2 because it's descending armor class.
I see.
So
So I'll have a 7 then.
Oh, I could do heavy armor then.
yeah.
Oh man.
Cool. Or I could do heavy armor and say I have crazy cool cyberpunk armor. And
Yeah.
then just suffer some penalties to my.
Oh, and I forgot, shields are a thing, and they have no save penalty, but they also provide a -1 bonus, which sounds weird, but that is a bonus.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so if I say I have heavy armor, then I drop to 5 AC, and I have to mark my. I have to mark.
Heavy armor is 3 AC.
Oh, it's worth 3.
Yeah.
Cool. So I would drop to 6, and I would have to mark 2 armor penalties.
Yes.
Right.
Actually, you would have 3 AC would be your total.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it replaces it, or it modifies my dexterity.
Yeah.
It
replace
replaces it.
Got it. Cool.
So the thing that modifies it is the shield and your dexterity.
Oh, I see. So if I had a higher dexterity, it would go down even further.
Yes.
Cool. And then for these saving throw modifications for hardiness, evasion, and spirit, like if I say that I have an evasion one, that means that the armor is somehow clumsy or difficult, right?
Yeah. It's narrative in that sense, but you should pick your penalties before we go into the game outright, because saving throws are a thing. So, and since your armor modifies that, we should establish what it changes.
Okay, I'll just do medium armor then. That would drop it to 5. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Medium armor is 5.
And I'll take the one-handed ranged weapon. Can I do that?
Sure. Yes, that is good. And describe it if you want, or you should, but describe.
Right. I'm torn. I'm torn between javelin, spearish kind of ranged weapon and a flintlock.
Ooh, whichever one works. Oh, and you can change where it says weapon. You can change the name to whatever your weapon is. So I see that we'll put his weapon name Uber Sword on where the head goes. But
I love it.
it is a good thing. I like big fucking swords.
Yeah. Here's the thing, because my power allows me to call it and just have it whenever I want, so I can just throw it down when I don't need it and have it come back.
Yes. That is really cool.
As long as it doesn't fall into kids' hands, we'll be okay.
Is there a particular chart for weapons that I'm missing?
Oh, it's on. Let me look up the page, because it is page 13 of the book, 15 on my PDF reader. So that.
Got it.
I took an ability to boost mine up, so.
Yeah. Because, like I said, the Fists of Black Iron is good. Oh, and don't forget to add your modifier to the damage roll.
Okay, cool. So, actually, you know what? I'm going to go with light armor. Shield.
Right. And so, Jay, your rifle would be D6 plus 2 to hit. Or no, sorry, not plus 2 to hit. Your dexterity is... So to hit, it's base attack bonus plus your modifier. So for a flintlock rifle, it would be plus your dexterity.
Uh-huh.
And then your damage would also add your dexterity. So it would be D6 plus
Gotcha.
2. Yeah. done with weapons and gear? Or weapons and armor and gear in general? Let us, if that is the case, let us go to step 6, which is kind of story gamey because, yeah, just describes a person, object, or location that you can call upon once per session. This session, so once, period. And whoever has the idea, first idea, can go first.
So a place I think that I can call on to go back to is the Thousand Acre Gulag, which is essentially the place where they're holding a lot of the various animals and things like that that used to be bright and shiny, but is no longer.
All right, then let's put that in where it says start here. There's the Akashic record name. Who is the your character who has access to it? What is the name? Is the name? Who has access to it? What is the description, and how are you connected to it?
Okay, so the name of the object is in the first column, or my
It
name?
is in the name of the object is in the first column.
Okay.
Object, person, or location. So, who would be your character's name, and what is a description? Why is your connection to it? And I am sorry for the weird phrasing of that, but let us make it so that it text wrapping wrap, so that looks better.
I think I have access to a person. I think maybe they have the title or the role at the Akashic Halls of the Index. The job is to maybe know where all the stuff, the records are in the Akashic Hall. Is that useful? Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Kind of like the librarian in the Dewey Decimal System. That person has, that's their role, that's their responsibility, is to know where those things are. In the hall, if it's in the hall.
So your character's name is Gideon, and what's their name?
Name.
Oh.
Let's call her Rachel.
Just randomly Rachel.
Yes, but spell it funny. Or just Rachel's fine.
Raquel. Let's make her Hispanic for reasons. All right. And what is your connection? Why do you have this connection?
I think when I first got here, maybe Gideon kind of hit on her a couple of times, but she keeps rebuffing him. Maybe she's kind of an interest and she's got too much work to do. She doesn't have time for Gideon.
So it's like love interest, you said? Sorry?
Yeah. I think it's Gideon's love interest, yes. But she's always too busy for him.
Right. Cool. And Mark, Brendan?
So the idea is that the Akashic records connect us to this person or thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Or, yeah.
Great. So I think there is a place that is actually like off the grid. Like there's a place like where you can go where you can actually disappear. Like that people like you are like outside reality. Even though like there's all these dimensions, right? There's one place that's like a hole. And so I have we can teleport around, right? Like we can open a portal and go wherever we want, right? Okay. So I have a key that lets me that I have found in the Akashic Records the way to this place, the place that is not a place.
All right. What is the name of this key?
Let's see. Well, it was like the key of nothing, right? Like it opens no doors, it fits no locks.
All right.
Like if you try to use it somewhere else, it like fights you, right? Like you try to use it in a door, and it's like it doesn't fit, or if it fits, it doesn't turn. For every other door, except when you use it to open a portal with the sort of like demigod magic, that'll take you to this place.
And why are you connected to it? How did you find it?
So I am real concerned about the fact that a god plucked me from my world and has now made me his servant. So I've been looking for ways to get out, even though, like, I kind of trust Canopus. Like, I think he's probably the best of all these crazy semi-god, demigod people or whatever. But I'm not so fond of this being tied to someone. Oh, no, Brendan's like, no, he's not the best. He is the worst. He is the... Yeah, I think he's probably the least dangerous. Or the least, we'll say least malignant. He's probably very dangerous, but he's not as awful as, say, I don't know, these other terrible gods. But I don't want to be tied to them, and so I've looked for a way out, and this is the closest that I found. But I can't stay there. There's nothing there. So if I go there, I'm like, cool, I'm free. But like, I basically have signed up for a prison sentence to be free.
All right.
Because there's nothing there.
So your character's name is Ailu, the line of Lu, or however you say Lu's name.
Yep. That's
Right.
So I think there is a fractal orrery.
You're
and
robotizing a bit, by the way.
What was that?
You're robotizing a bit, so.
No. Am I okay now, or should I try to fix it?
I'm not sure how to fix it, but
Let me see.
however
If it
you
doesn't
can
go away, the best way is to drop out and come back in if you're getting robotic.
Yeah.
Is this any better?
No.
No.
All right, let me drop out and come back in quick.
All right, cool.
Maria, I chose the sorceries I have. So I have the 4. They're below my sheet. So I have Beacon of Celestial Purity, where I can basically purify things and in fact punish people for lying. Sunder the Lesser Spell, which dismisses other spells. Seal of
Dominion.
Yeah, it makes people follow me, do what I say.
Do what I say.
Do what I say. And then there's the Bright God's Canticle, which will make me disappear, like kind of invisibility, but I have to sing it.
Yes. While you are singing, no one will notice you.
That's right, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, those are fun spells. And Silver, oh my god, it's the mind control spell. And it is one of the lesser forms of clergy, and it is a mind control spell. So
I'm sure it'll be fine. It's gonna be great.
no, it's like this tells you like the power level that we're dealing with.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Am I still robot?
No, you're fine.
Thank goodness. Okay.
So
So it's the fractal orrery, which manifests itself as a big room, and it has it's an orrery, so it's this like mechanical model, but it's of the entire universe. But like as you walk towards the galaxy becomes the model, and then as you walk towards the star becomes a model. And there's no clear point at which, like, it never makes any sense. This thing cannot possibly work the way it does. But you can theoretically drill down to any solar system, individual planet. You can see the orbits of existence and the cosmos and celestial objects everywhere if you just examine the orrery enough. And ostensibly, I think Sirius has some role in making this orrery function, because nobody's quite clear if the orrery in the records is a record of how everything works, or if the orrery dictates how everything works. Nobody wants to find out, but I have an intelligence of 8. So we'll find out.
So
I'm going to know.
So it is, to simplify the what, is it like a map of everything?
Yes.
Map of everything. And your connection to this, you want to find out more about it?
I want to find out more about it, and technically it's under the remit of Sirius. So either that may be the connection too. I technically have a pass as a servant of Sirius. I am allowed in.
Right, cool. And that is character creation. Are you guys okay with a break right now?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Sure.
Right, cool. I will be back.
Okay.
In 5 minutes. Sorry, I muted myself too early. All right. Are you guys ready to begin? Cool. You are in Valdres, City of Towers. Tell us one detail about it, each of you, before we start.
City of Towers. Okay, so we haven't established anything about this yet.
It's a City of Towers. That's
Okay, cool.
it.
I can go.
Anyone, go ahead.
At the city center is a large park. What's bigger than park? I'm thinking like Central Park big, right?
Preserve.
Maybe preserve. But a section of that is set up, ornate, decorated. It's a cemetery. Most of the burials are above ground. Nothing is in the ground. It's kind of like New Orleans. Everything is kind of built up. So the stones are ornate. The little markers are all ornate, and everything is above the ground. But that's all set aside just for that specific purpose in this park, in the city center.
So let me get this straight. There's a huge park that's also a cemetery?
Most of it's all cemetery, mausoleum type stuff in it, yes.
Cool. Who wants to go next?
And you, as the Godbound of Death, you have no stake in that at all.
Oh no, I just thought it. I thought it'd be nice. Look nice.
Sorry. I was going to say. Oh, I'm sorry, Lowell. Go ahead.
No,
please.
go ahead. You.
Oh, okay, thank you. People get around the city. A major form of public transportation are the enormous hollowed-out bodies of artificial angels. You can fit a whole ton of people inside, and they fly around.
Wow.
That's really cool. Who wants to go next?
It's a city of towers, so I imagine that the towers, they aren't built. They kind of grow up and arise up out of the ground, and so new levels come every few generations. Sometimes they get larger. Sometimes they get old and decrepit and collapse.
Wow.
But it's like spikes of towers that come out and grow like a forest of that.
All right.
Cool. So I'll say these are all different dimensions, right? So I'll say this one doesn't. This, when we call it the City of Towers, there's no end to it. So you don't get to the edge of the city and can look out. It just keeps going forever, and as far as you go in any one direction. And so governing it and supplying it and things like that requires stuff to come in from other places. So there's these like gates and things where they bring in food and other things, right? Because there's no place to grow crops or anything like that here.
I mean, you can grow towers, but you can't grow crops.
The only thing that grows here is towers.
Right. For whatever reason, your Astral Prince Master wants you to find this character named Vanant. And what do you think they want you to do with them?
Hmm.
Were we asked to find him together or her together or individually asked?
Each of your individual Astral Princess have been asked to find this individual.
Well,
So
I
individually.
clearly have been asked to make sure that this person does not fall into the hands of one of these less reputable Godbound. Or at least to keep an eye on what happens if they do.
All right.
I think that Benant is probably got some skill at hollowing out angel bodies and making them into these devices. And my boss Algol thinks that's pretty sweet, and would like to get one of those sweet rides for himself, and maybe make a little army of those things charging across the landscape. So we'd like to get hold of this guy.
All right.
I think Venant is a rogue thief. He turned on who's my Alcor,
Yes.
and she wants him dead.
All right.
Nice.
Venant has died 3 times and come back all 3 times, and this has the effect of like refining a soul. It's like it burns away the impurities. And so Sirius would love to have this perfect soul turned into a member of the pack.
Nice.
All right. So yes, you are in Baldras looking for Banant. You know what you know, which is next to nothing. You know what you've been informed by your Astral Prince. Where do you begin looking for them? Let's go with you should probably introduce your characters by name, because we already know a bunch of details about them. So Eric, Gideon, Ailu, and Alexandrovich. Or I totally butchered that. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Everybody does.
Yes.
You can just call me Alexi.
Alexi.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's start with Eric.
Great. So I have sort of shoulder length black hair and like a kind of unkept but sort of shortish beard. I'm thin, kind of gaunt, and I have like some stuff from my dimension, but I've learned that like it attracts a lot of attention, so I don't carry very much of it, right? So I have this like big coat that I wear all the time, and underneath it I have some stuff, but I've actually ditched a lot of it because I found that a lot of my stuff gets in the way of using this like sorcery and things. Like it actually interferes with it. There's like some relationship between what powers the technology and my powers, and so I would probably. Like I try not to attract a lot of attention, mostly because if I get in a fight, I'm in real trouble. So I kind of probably like, cut through reality somewhere quiet and try to blend in with, especially like markets or places. And I would probably start by looking for Venant, like if he maintains a storefront. He sounds like an artisan or something. So I would probably start looking for him wherever he would do business.
And Gideon.
I think Gideon is kind of tall, kind of athletic built, scruffy, bearded. I think he's got that flintlock rifle, so he carries that in a quiver on his back. So I think he's kind of got a long cloak to go along with that. I think he's looking for Venant in the marketplace as well. That seems like a good place to start. Lots of people, good place to get lost and hide. I think that's where he will begin his search at.
All right. Alexi. Wait, before we get to Alexi, are you a wolf person?
No, just I just raised by wolves.
Okay, cool.
That's what they all say.
No, I'm just raised by wolves. I'm totally a person, human
So,
person.
yeah, no.
Like you, human.
Not wearing a human suit. No, not at all.
Heavens no.
So he's probably lean and hungry looking, and he's trying to blend in. So he's got sort of this threadbare, sort of Edwardian black suit that is kind of patched at the elbows and such, and probably scuffed up and dirty and unarmed. And he thinks he's very clever for having put that over his chainmail so that nobody could notice it. He's going to the Angel Depot. Where they they do the transfers, because that's where that guy might be, because that's what's going on.
But seriously, you're not a wolf, or are you?
No. Might have some wolf mannerisms that people might assume would be Vulpine,
Right.
but no, wolf, not wolf. No, sorry, human. I meant.
All right, Ailu.
So I have this gift, Lord of the Wild, which means animals instinctively want to serve me with the intelligence of a human. So I basically go down to the lowest level of the city that I can, and I'm looking for a resident rodent population. I'm imagining that because we're a crazy interdimensional city, there's all manner of rodentia and nightmarish things like arthropodal rats. So I'm going to go talk to the crab rats, and I'm going to say, I'm looking for this guy. Find him and bring him back. But I'm going to keep moving because I have to keep talking to them as I move throughout as many animals as I can find.
Right. So most of you are in the marketplace. You all see a bunch of crab rats crawling into the marketplace. And I don't think you have any idea where they're coming from, but they are like, people are starting to panic because crab rat, even though it is part of the natural habitat, you still don't want crab rats in your market. So what do you do?
Are we all familiar with each other?
Are you? Do you want to say yes or no?
I assume we've seen the other servants from time to time, maybe cross paths.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Good or ill.
Alright, cool. Alright, so
All right, so we're seeing the rats and recognizing that there's probably something afoot, or a rat. I'd like to look forward, and I guess so. I'm going to commit effort to looking forward. And it says, if I commit effort, then I can ask a question about a situation's future or the future actions of a person you've seen before. Oh, I may not have seen this guy before. Can I ask a question about the situation? Like, where can I find this guy by looking forward in time to find out where he's going to be found?
Let me look at the time word so I can.
That's on page 54.
All right. So you haven't seen Banan, so you wouldn't get a direct answer.
I can't ask about him I can't ask where he is or what he's going to do, but I can ask about where he will be found, right? Like, in this situation, where will someone find him?
In this situation, it's actually a she. She will be found as one of the few people not panicking over rat crabs and whatever disease they might carry.
Okay.
So look for people who aren't panicking.
Cool. So when I say I commit effort for a day, should I mark effort down 1,
Yes.
right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
All right, Gideon or Alexi, either of you, how do you react to rat crabs?
Well, once I realize that people are panicking and not like going cool, I'll put the ones I've grabbed up down. Like, I don't want it to look like I was grabbing them to eat them or anything. And I'm gonna start like seeing where they came from and seeing if I can put something heavy over that. Like it must be just a hole or something, right? That's what I'm looking for.
Several sewer grates.
Oh, geez. Oh, what's the biggest, heaviest thing I can lift around here to put on top of those grates?
You have shoulders as wide as the world, yes?
Yeah.
So anything smaller than a warship?
So I'll guess I'll grab one of these little towers and pick it up and scoot it over, rip it out of the ground, put it over on top of those things to slow the passage of these crab rats, because people are clearly not digging that.
All right. Before we go to Ailu, I want to see what Gideon's doing about this
I
crab
try
rat.
to figure out where they're going, if they're all going to the same place, and I try to go to that place if they're all going to the same destination.
They seem to be scouting more than, or not scouting, but like looking for something rather than going somewhere. If that answers your question.
Okay, no, it does. I will get to a little bit of a higher ground to see if I can figure out when or where they find whatever it is they're looking for. I want to get there before they do.
All right. Do you have any words for that?
I do not.
All right. So it's gonna take a while in that case.
Okay.
Or I meant gifts, but okay. Ailu, some crab rats seem to be coming back, and you can communicate with animals due to the beast word, correct?
Yep.
They're saying that they can't get out. There is something blocking the way. What do you do?
What is this nonsense?
They will lead you to the place where Alexei has been pretty much picking up towers and putting them down.
Okay. Well, I'm mad. Is there a way I can find out, considering they are crab rats, maybe they aren't thinking of some of the ways out, or they're not lifting manhole covers because they can't.
Right.
Because I'll get the heck out and be like, what are you doing?
Depending on how you phrase it, you could use either intelligence or wisdom.
Okay.
So
I know which one I prefer.
Yes.
yes. All right. So wisdom is common sense. Intelligence is knowledge. So I'm guessing you're going for a more wilderness survival type.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for places where the air is still flowing down here. I'm looking for places where the smell's maybe a little less bad because the air from above would be filtering down. And it's certainly not relying upon any knowledge of this place previously. This is the first time I've ever been here.
All right, cool. All right, give me a d20 roll. This is no modifiers. Just try to meet or beat your 8.
Got it. /R D20.
Right.
Williams.
Oh my, that is just enough.
Okay,
I know
All right,
Okay.
so you find Alexei picking up small towers and putting them down on top of the manholes and the sewer grates.
What are you doing?
Oh, Ebaloo, good. It's good you're here. These crab rats are attacking and infesting the village, and you know how to handle beasts, so
They're attacking nothing.
people are panicking. Must be attacking someone.
That's
Otherwise,
the
why would they
people's
panic?
problem.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, my
Oh, okay, fair enough. What are you doing
Lex,
here?
God.
You could have trapped me down there. I was down there.
You're clever. You found your way up.
Oh, as a side note, because I actually think this is an interesting question. You were raised by wolves. Do you speak wolf?
Yes, badly.
Great. Okay, so that's what we're talking. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
This is a weird conversation to anybody else.
crab rat still flowing around your feet.
Yeah.
This is
Nice.
a really good game, but I love it.
Sorry, I
Well-
didn't know they were your crab rats.
It's fine. It's fine. No harm, no foul. Just stop. Stop, please. Stop.
I put the tower down.
I was just looking for Paldris. That's it. Oh, sorry. I was looking for Venant.
We are well met then, because that is who I seek as well. This is the way of the world, that we should come and cross paths, and now we can find this person together.
Is it?
Maybe?
Oh my god.
Why do you need to find Venant?
Because it's just all on the quiet, right?
Sure.
Okay. So Benat knows how to make those points to an angel going by. Those and my boss Algo wants some of that knowledge. Apparently, makes them very, very well. Lots of people make them, but nobody makes them quite as stylish. Little flame.
So if you had to be specific, the things of Venant that you care about are Venant's knowledge and hands.
Yes, that's exactly
Okay.
right.
Good, because we can work together then. I'm only after her soul, so that should be fine.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right to me.
Great. Have you had any luck so far besides pushing towers onto sword graves? Sorry.
No, but we could look around, and maybe you could have your rats figure it out. I say it like it's the cleverest thing I've ever come up with.
Alright. Let's cut to Gideon and Eric. Or either of you who wants to go.
Go for it, Gideon.
So you climb the tower. At one point you feel it shaking. You imagine that it is because Alexei picked it up or someone, maybe Alexei, maybe someone else, picked it up and then thud. It stops moving and that's that.
Gotcha.
That's it. But you make it to the top.
Can I figure out if these creatures found what they were scouting for?
They don't seem to know exactly what they're looking for.
Gotcha.
So they're just pretty much looking around for something weird, but not quite knowing what they're looking for. So yeah, that's your answer. What do you do?
I will get off this moving tower before somebody hurts me.
Right.
Do I see those two down at the base of the tower or anywhere near the tower?
Yeah. Oh, lol, you're muted.
That's me minding us talking in Wolf down there. So.
Oh yeah, you definitely see two people talking in Wolf down there.
I will, if I can, I'll come in on the tail end of that conversation.
Cool. All right. You come into the tail end. Let me jump to Eric real quick. You know that to look for the people who aren't panicking.
Right.
And as far as you know, the people who aren't panicking are speaking in Wolf right now.
I don't want to have anything to do with those three. So I'm gonna try to kind of let the flow of the crowd carry me forward and try to roughly. I don't want to do anything magic, but I would like to not draw much attention, and try to keep moving and look for Venant and see if I can perhaps make some progress at discovering her before these three get their shit together.
All right. Um, is that a wisdom? I think that's a wisdom, which you're really good
Great.
at. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
my
a straight
thing.
d20.
All right, great. And what am I trying to roll higher than? Or lower
Your
than?
check higher than your check, or equal to your check. So you're
Oh, I see it.
so unless you roll a
2
2
and
or a
3.
1.
Hey, don't jinx me. God damn it, Mike.
Let's see what it is.
6.
Oh,
All right, cool. That's still enough. You make your way to someone. This woman is working, tinkering with a with a small object, but she's tinkering with it while crab rats are just climbing on top of her and not really paying attention to them.
Right. So I will like kind of move
Hold on.
in.
Sorry. Hold on. I will cut to the other 3.
Sure. Yeah, sounds
So
good.
they can have their conversation with in full. All right. So Gideon walks up to you guys. What do you do?
Gideon, what an amazing coincidence.
I think not.
Oh. I lean in conspiratorially.
What brings you to the City of Towers?
I look at Blue.
There's a lot of raised eyebrows going on right now. Okay.
We're looking for someone.
Hmm. So am I.
Ooh.
Perhaps we should talk about why the powers want this someone.
Oh, you think it's the same person?
I'm pretty certain it is.
Okay. Well, mine wants this person for their knowledge of making these angel buses.
And I only seek their soul.
Hmm. And we're just going to do these tasks like obedient little automatons.
Do you have an alternate plan?
I was just curious that this one person is wanted by 4 different princesses. 3 different princesses. That doesn't bother you? You okay with this?
It bothers me that it makes it more difficult. That's sort of uncool. I think maybe, and I'm not a wise man or a smart man, but I would think maybe we could talk to this person and find out maybe what they have to say, and maybe they can explain themselves.
All right.
I think that's a good first step.
I'm very happy that he has affirmed that I said a smart thing. So
Who is a good wolf? Who is it? Is
yes,
it you? Are you a
that's
good
me.
wolf?
Yes.
I thought you were human.
Nope, no, it's human. Good human.
Good human.
It's a good one. Have your and I ask Ilu, have your scouts found her?
Well, they were disrupted by the landscape changing.
We're past that. That's all in the past.
Let's not talk about it. I mean, I'll turn to some of the crab rats that I assume are still running around, and I'll ask them anything.
They've seen some people, but they haven't seen they're not sure what they're looking for. First of all, but there are some people who aren't running away and screaming, so they will lead you to that.
Yeah, bring us there.
All right. Before then, Eric, how do you approach Vanant?
So I'm gonna kind of try not to make a direct approach, but as I get closer, sort of try to catch her attention and say, actually, first of all, do I recognize other sort of like godly powered things? Are they like immediately apparent, or does it actually take some investigation? Like, when you look at something, like look at one of these other three, are they obviously like, oh, that's a demigod? Or is it like, they might be or might not be?
I think there's a tell.
Okay, so like we can kind of recognize each other.
Yeah.
Does Venat immediately give off such vibes?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
She's just she's just tinkering with this small clock thing, and the crabs are climbing onto her.
Yeah. So I'll say, Venat, my name is Eric, and I'm a representative of a very powerful person who would like to keep you safe. There are multiple people who are here who might want to hurt you.
Yes, I know.
Okay. And you're not concerned. And I'm kind of like looking over my shoulder to make sure the three of them don't come around the corner to knife me in the back.
I know. I am specifically building this for that occasion. So, if you'll excuse me, I have to finish this before they come over here.
Okay, I'd like to use the subtle eye of knowing. So with a moment's concentration, I can discern low magic or theurgy active in the area, identifying its general function. Other forms of magic are noted, but only vague senses of danger. And I can identify other theurges or low magic practitioners. So is this, when I look over this, is this like a low magic thing, or is this like something else?
This is something else. This is not low magic. This is very good, very high magic type of deal.
Got it. Okay, cool.
She is dangerous.
Yeah, I'm concerned about how this is going to go down. So I would like to commit effort to my sorcery. So I'm going to go ahead and be like, I didn't want to have to do this, and I'm going to like draw the symbol to like take control of her mind.
All right, let's see how that works out. It is right. Let me go to.
So when I commit effort, the idea is that like I'm not spending it, I'm like committing it for this scene, right? So I'll get it back at the end of the scene.
Correct. It's
okay. Cool.
If you cast quickly, it is at the end of the scene. If it is instantly, it is until the end of the day.
Yeah, I'll do cast quickly because it only takes me a round. So it's what, like
right.
6 seconds or whatever, right? So I'm going to cast it while she's I have her attention.
All right, they get to, since they are a worthy foe, they get to make a spirit saving throw.
No, I don't like that. I like it better when things just work.
Yeah, they just work.
I thought that might be the case. I was prepared for this.
Yes, this is. Yes, this one's fun. Let me see. Special. Oh, I'm sorry. That does not work.
Yeah. So I just like I draw my symbol, right? And like I kind of know that this might happen, so I'm a little nervous about it. What is her reaction?
Please don't do that again. And the three just walk up to you. The three people who are now
Eric. That is Eric, isn't it?
4 princes.
I like make my like guys don't do this motion like I'm like trying to get away. I don't want to quite like cut a portal into another dimension yet, but I'm thinking like this might be time to go. So I'm just trying to get out of out of the line of fire if there's anything that happens here.
All right. Is there anything you want to say or do? Any of you?
I repeat his name and begin walking towards him. I'm very excited about the possibility of having all four of us together. This is gonna be great. We'll get things done. I don't notice the woman. I'm just very excited.
All right.
I'm keeping my eyes on her.
I want to close the distance between her and I.
All right.
Just kind of looking over things in her shop, just trying to, I don't rush her, but I'm trying to get closer to her.
All right. Cool. So she's building something. You're not quite sure what. It looks kind of like this in size. It looks kind of like a clock, kind of not. And I'm not sure if you would have any idea what this is unless any of you are artifice or.
Nah.
All right. She keeps building it, and doesn't really pay much mind to you. All right. Ailu, you want to do something?
I mean, so I'll just call out. Are you Venant?
Yes.
You are sought 4 times over.
Yes.
You are summoned 4 times over.
I understand that. She keeps tinkering around.
Do you decline the summons?
I don't see why why I should heed the summons. Give me a good reason.
Well, no,
I'm just like, no, like done, right? Like no more. Like any mortal who's like, fuck this, I don't want to listen to the gods. Like I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna like actually try to like step into the shadows.
Wait, you assume this is mortal?
No. I mean anybody we just are assigned to go look for without any previous instructions, who just is like, no, fuck you. I'm like very nervous about, right? So I want to get out of the blast radius of whatever might happen.
Yeah, good idea. You were gonna say something, Lexi?
So I say, well, great. My boss would like to bring you on as a consultant to get some information and techniques from you. That is what my boss would like, and I'm sure that he is generous and will gladly repay you for this thing.
Gideon? She seems like to Alexi.
I need to commit effort.
All right.
I have Knives of the Night. You are
Alright.
now able to harden darkness into a weapon with a range of 200 feet. I want to do that. I'm thinking something with a big blade and a short handle because I'm going to toss it at her.
Right now?
Right now.
All right. Go ahead and give me that attack roll. Her AC is let me see. 1. AC 1.
Okay, so I'm only getting +2 for my dexterity.
It's your attack bonus, which is 1, plus your dexterity, which is 2, plus 1, which is her armor class. So it is a total of +4.
And I rolled a 2.
No. She like she's looking at it. Like dodges with tilts her head and dodges the blade. And
Okay.
and Eric is still walking like it's stepping into the shadows. Ailu?
If you agree to come with me, you'll run in the Packer Tunnel across the midnight skies of existence, dancing across stars in a sea of other wolves of the sun. And I'm instructed to break your will if you say no.
What the hell does any of that mean?
People have no
Poetry's dead.
poetry. Yeah, seriously. Come on. God, what a soulless place. It means that I want to go home, and I can't go home until I serve my lord enough, and serving my lord means you're coming with me.
Well, that's too fucking bad, isn't it?
It really is.
And she seems to be putting the last touches to her thing.
Oh boy.
Alexi, what do you do?
Yeah, that's the point at which I need to break her device because she's not listening and she didn't pay attention to what I had to say. And so I moved to my second form of resort, which is to break things. So I will move up to punch the device.
All right, go ahead and roll to see if you punch it, even though most likely you will.
And I don't think I need to. Yeah, I guess I will go ahead and commit effort to do Shattering Hand.
It's not an attack; it's just a skill, I think.
Okay, well, but Shattering Hand allows me to break things pretty consistent.
Wait, Shattering that is an effect of Shattering Hand? I was
You have to
not
commit
aware.
effort on that one.
Right, let me look at Shattering Hand.
Sure.
Oh, it is a magic substance, so, or rather a magic item, so it's not gonna be as effective with Shattering Hand.
Okay.
So,
but it'd
you
be
can still
more
try
effective
to
than
break
just punching it, right?
Yeah, I would say you don't have to roll if like you already are a Godbound of Might. So
Okay.
with the Shattering Hand, I'm just gonna say, yeah, you.
Then that's what I will do.
Right. What? She is like, what? Looking at the shattered pieces of whatever she was building.
Nice.
What the fuck did you just do?
I broke your device.
Yes, I can see that.
Whoa. See, you wouldn't listen. And then he's throwing knives around and swords are my thing. And I got a little irritated by that. So, just we just need to all get on the same page here. And you just come with me and it'll all be good. Not going roaming on the night roads or whatever with him or getting killed by him. Or there was a fourth of us here a minute ago. Or I would say what he was going to do.
All right. All four of you see there were some hollow angels in the vicinity, but they seem to be looming over you now.
That can't be good.
Yeah. And what do you do, Eric?
Well, she seems to have this under control, although her device maybe leaves her vulnerable. So I'm gonna stay. I think I'm just gonna stay and watch. And I think that Canopus would be upset with me if I came back with like I don't know, I left halfway through and everything seemed to be going okay. So I think I'm just going to stay and watch. Although I'm particularly interested in what's because I kind of think I've got a good sense of what Gideon's plan is, which is to kill her and Alexi's. But Ailu seems to have, I don't know, he seems to be planning something. So I'm going to keep an eye on him in particular.
All right. So basically, you're holding your turn.
Yeah, I'm going to hold him.
Right. Gideon?
Do those hollow angels? So those hollow angels are moving,
Yes.
and they're kind of looming over. How tall are they? What do they look like?
They house a couple of people, I'm assuming.
Say it again.
They can hold a bunch of people. They're like subways.
So they're giants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that point.
I will.
Can I tell if they're looming over all of us, including Venant? Okay.
Well, not including Banan.
Uh,
Just all four of you.
I get close to Venant within arm's length.
All right. Let me see. There's hold up. All right. You get to arm's reach of Vanant.
Yes.
Anything else?
I will reform my dagger of the night.
All right.
And I'll wait to see what the angels do.
So you're also gonna hold, or are you going to attack?
I'm going to hold. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the angels are. I don't know what their intent is.
All right. Ailu.
Gideon, no killing. No killing. I will. I'll call up the Spear of Luke, which is I have a fragment of my ancestor's spear that turns into a giant, blazing, glowing, brilliant spear in my hands.
Nice.
And I hoist it like I'm about to chuck it, and I'm like, my ancestors have slain giants for millennia. This isn't a problem. If you want me to smash these creations, I will gladly do so. And you'll still wind up coming with me.
Nice. Hold up. I think there we go. All right, and so you're also holding.
I want to see what she does.
All right, and Alexi.
So I have a small confession to make. Is Alexi likes to make these things kind of fall apart because then he gets to fight, and he gets to fight with people that he likes. He's very excited that this is gonna burst out into combat. So essentially, he's very excited that this is going pear-shaped so that everybody, all of his friends, he doesn't get to see him that often. When he does, they get to go in these fights. He's really sorry that Eric isn't here, but he runs up the side of the building, which he can because I can get anywhere within line of sight in a move and jump and stab an angel in the neck.
Give me that roll.
All right.
It's +5 plus their AC of. Let me.
That is awesome.
Their AC is 3.
Ooh.
I think. I'm. Yes, that is correct. Their AC is 3.
Okay, let's see what happens. Not a D0. D20 plus
No,
8, 7. I will miss. I only have a 15.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you miss.
But I'm up on the angel.
You're up on an angel. How do you miss if you were going for a giant angel's neck?
So probably there are some like door panels in it. So I kind of probably don't see that as I probably go through like a window in the side of the angel as I trying to get at the actual sort of meaty neck part.
All right, cool. All right, everyone else can use their held actions now. I'm guessing they're all gonna use their held actions to sigh, unless you guys want to do something else. um,
deep, deep
but
sighs.
yeah, she's gonna attack, and the angels are gonna attack. So you can act before then.
All right.
Yeah, go for it.
I will hurl my knife of darkness at an angel.
All right, AC 3. So 3 plus 3, 6. All right.
That is horrible. I hate this die.
Yes.
I am so sorry. All
What is
right,
that?
that is a 12. That does not make it. The knife whizzes past the giant angel
Right.
of metal. And Ailu, you have your Bryoneck, I believe. Is it Bryoneck? It's
My-
Luke's spear.
Yes, it's Luke's spear. Yes.
So
Yeah. I don't want to waste my powerful gifts on these guys when she's right there, and she's scarier than they are, but they're pretty scary.
Yeah. I'm with
So
you.
Oof. Okay. Let's test the waters. I'll throw a spear at one of the angels, and we'll see if the dice like me any better.
Right.
I'm guessing no. All right.
I am.
So I'm rolling with a total of a +3, and their AC is a 3, so I need a 14.
Are these angels undead?
They are not.
Dang it.
But bam.
That hits. All right. Roll your damage.
It should be a D10 +2.
And that
Oof.
is compared to the chart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is only 1 damage, I believe.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Wait, what shirt?
so there's a chart that you compare to when you roll damage non-straight. 1 or less is 0 damage. 2 to 5 is 1 damage. 6 to 9 is 2 damage, and 10 or above is 4 damage.
Cool.
Right. There are 2 angels, so let's say you did 1 damage to one of them. And I realized that this might be a bit too hard, so I'm gonna bump your levels if that is okay. By 2. So everything will be calculated automatically, so don't worry about that. Oh, not 33. And effort
I'll
will
take
be
33.
No, you're not level 33.
But that sounds awesome. Level 33.
No, it would be too easy then. And you don't want to make things too easy, do you? All right. Um, angels are going to. They have these uh long spears of that are made of material that looks like gold but isn't. And they will stab at first Alexi. And they have. What is your?
My
Oh,
AC
and
is 3.
all right, cool. And as a note, you will have a higher to hit now that your levels are higher. It just modifies it by 2, but
Got
it
it.
should be fine. So 3 plus 120 plus. First attack on Alexi does not hit.
That's right.
Nice. That's right.
Second hit does hit.
Oh, not good.
And that is nope. That is a total of 2 damage.
Okay.
The second angel will go after Ailu. Or Ailu, sorry. What is your
Yeah.
AC?
5.
Right. So that is 1 hit. Let me copy this. Another hit. So 1 damage and
Take that.
another damage.
Okay.
Vanant herself will pull out a gun of her own and shoot Gideon.
What?
What is your AC?
5.
Alright. And let me make sure. Right. Go back to the. Right, just get that much. Just writing some stats down for future reference. Alright. So first attack will be. You said 5, right?
Yes, it is 5.
Oh wow. First attack hits.
What?
Maria, it's hot.
Second attack hits.
I don't like these dice.
Yeah.
And the third attack hits. I am sorry for making this maybe too hard. That's why I raised your level. Let me see the damage. I will. I will not roll this straight. I will just do that. So that is. Well, it was supposed to be D10 straight, but I'm gonna be generous because yeah. All right. That is 2 damage. 2 damage on top of that.
Uh-huh.
And 1 damage. So a total of 5 damage. And her second action, because she has 2, has actually already happened. Eric, what do you do? You're muted.
Okay, well, I don't think everybody will be happy if these 3 die. As happy
Yeah.
as I would be to have to put up with their crap, maybe bad. So I'm going to. Can I tell? Can I tell what activates the angels? Like, are they made of magic or something else?
They are controlled by Vanant herself.
Through sort of like Godbound level powers?
Yes, correct.
And just a quick factual question, because these are used for public transport. Are they empty of people?
You're not sure.
Oh, goddamn.
I mean, Alexei might know, but
You might know.
he's currently in a tight spot. In that means getting hit by angels. All right. So, Eric.
All right, so I'd like to use prophetic insight.
All right.
Page 54. So I have to commit effort for the day. We have more effort now because you raised our levels, right?
Yes, correct.
I'll commit effort for the day. And I make a prophecy about a particular event involving a person present. It will come to pass. Now, what time scale does it have to come to pass on?
I'm reading it right now. What is the effect you want it to happen? All right.
So,
What is? Yeah.
Yeah, so if I say, you will come with me and speak with my prince. She doesn't have to do that. like short term, right? It's like that's going to happen eventually.
Yeah, I think that's how it goes.
Okay, I don't know
I
if that's
think
actually going to happen.
I think it's at least for like it might be for the day, like because it is commit effort for the day. So it
Okay.
might be within the day.
Within the day. Okay. And of course she can resist it, right? She can resist that fate through spirit resistance. Cool. So I think
through spirit resistance, and she can commit effort to resist the effect.
how does that work if they commit effort? She just cancels it one for one?
Yeah.
Okay. Or she could try to resist it and might fail.
It's basically if your spirit save fails, she can spend one effort to resist it anyways.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool. That makes sense. But she has a limited amount. Right?
Correct. Everyone has a limited amount of effort. Well, except a certain enemy in the book, but
it's
I'm not
really
saying
rare.
that at you.
Yeah.
No, it's the most powerful thing in the book.
Yeah,
it's the only thing that has it.
Like these angels. Okay, I'm not sure. I think that I'm concerned about these angels like wrecking everything and there being tons of people inside and that being awful. So can I try to figure out how she's controlling them, or is it obviously like Godbound magic?
It's obviously her domain over artifice.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I mean, I don't really know what to do other than hang out and watch you all die. So, how desperate do you look? Eilu, do you look concerned?
I got clipped. I imagine it's one of those heroic wounds that makes me look super cool, and I got like the line of blood trickling down my face, but that's it at this point. So I got that like pissed hero look on my face.
Yeah.
But maybe a little concerned. Also, now that the thought has occurred to me, there's people in these things.
Yeah. Cool. So I think I'm gonna commit effort to. She's created these things, right?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Cool. So I would like to commit effort to do Echoes of the Past, and I'd like to jump into the past and see what Vanat has, like what it took for her to create these things in the past, and see if I can learn anything about them where she made them.
All right. You have this very. It's disturbing due to the fact that it is not what you expected. It is a surreal eldritch landscape, and it seems that it's almost dreamlike that they were forged from some color in the darkness of reality and just given shape. So what information you find is that she's definitely not human. Whatever her soul is definitely something else.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's my turn, right? Because that took my effort and things. So
yeah, it is an action. So
yeah, I'm good. All right, great.
All right. Gideon.
It's payback time.
All right.
She
Cool.
shot me.
Yes, she did.
3 times.
3 times. So I have to shank her.
Yes, shank her.
I'm staying with my Knives of Darkness.
All right. Go ahead and roll. Keep in mind that your attack bonus is now higher, so you get +3 instead of +1 for base attack. So that's +5 plus her AC of 1, so that's +6.
15.
All right. Ay, ay, ay. No, that is not a hit.
That is way better than the 4 I was getting.
Yeah. Uh Go ahead, Alexi. You are on top of this angel and trying to stab its neck. What do you do?
Jeez, this thing. Let's see here. I want to check something here with that. Can I actually have
Miracles?
Eblu go first while I look at something?
Right. Right. Arlu can go now if she so desires.
I do kind of want to call out and be like, "Are there people in there?" Seriously concerned.
I look back at the passengers.
Yes.
I go, yes.
Oh God damn it!
They
I'll
are
catch it when it
screaming.
falls.
Oh my God.
The new plan. I'm gonna turn into a giant eagle.
All right.
I have many skinned mantle,
Yes.
and yeah, giant eagle.
Yes, you are now a rock. And
Yes.
what do you do? And is that your entire turn, or?
I think it takes an action to change. Let me check and make absolutely sure.
All right, please.
So that does take an action to change. So unless my frayed eye can do something, I'm a giant bird.
All right. I mean, you can hurt the passengers with your frayed eye, but I doubt you want to do that.
No. No, thank you.
Right. Going back to the angels, same deal. All right, Angel 1 is going after Alexi's AC 3
Yes.
plus Angel 1 misses with its first attack. And misses with its second attack.
All right.
Angel 2 is how much AC was it? 5?
5 for me.
All right. Hit with the first. Miss with the second.
Ooh.
And that is 2 damage.
Ow. Or I mean, caw.
Vanant?
May I go before Benant?
Yes, you may go now.
I am going to commit to effort, and I'm going to mimic loosening God's teeth. And because I feel good because I didn't get hit. I think I can take an angel out in one hit. So I am going to rear back, leap up, and come down on this angel. I do shout to the people in the angel, hang on. And then I take my swing at this thing.
At the angel?
At the angel, yes.
Cool.
So I'm rolling and adding 7.
Yeah.
Oh, you bastard, die. It does do...
It still does its regular damage.
Yeah.
But it's not as epic as
Well, I probably shed a little bit of a tear there, actually.
Yes.
Oh my God! And then it decides to absolutely add insult to injury. Yeah, I do 2 points to it.
Oh.
All right.
Starting to rethink my life choices.
Rethink your life choices. Yes. Vanant is going to. Eric, you're not. Are you well hidden?
Yes, I'm fairly well hidden in the shadows of an alley nearby, like pressed up against the wall, watching all this happen.
All right, give me a. I guess charisma to hide.
Sure.
or wisdom, or I'm not sure. What do you think is?
Well, I could see wisdom because I'm conscious of where she's going to look, right? And like I've analyzed the situation and I found a position I can hide in. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, cool. That is, I believe, not enough. So perhaps in my kind of slack-jawed awe of her creating these things in this primordial time, I kind of have wandered out a little bit, and when I come to, I find myself exposed nearby this fight.
She shoots you. She gets 3 attacks.
Cool.
All right.
I know this game.
What is your AC?
It's not very. It's 6.
All right. Rip. This is not 1C20. It's 1D20. 1 hit. 2 hits. 3 hits.
I see a pattern happening here. I don't like these dice.
I am sorry that it's
I
happening.
want to see the code underneath this bot.
Yeah, that's right. Well, she does hit on a 4 or higher, so there's a
1,
probability issue at
4,
stake.
and 4.
4 and 1, 4 and 4. So it's 9 damage.
Yeah,
Cool.
I am.
What is she shooting me with? Like a rifle?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I have this
harder than it should.
Yeah, I have these like shields and things that are kind of like sparks fly, and I like go flying back into the wall, like crashing through the brick into the next room.
Right. Right. Good. Let's not Alexi. Eric. Back to you. You have this insight, and she has shot you badly.
So when you say she's not human, does that mean something special in this setting, or that she is? Like what exactly does that mean?
She is, if not, like she is something else. She is like, if not an astral prince, something related.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I would like to commit a miracle. So with a miracle, I can kind of get outside the gifts and just do crazy things, right?
As long as they're connected to whatever your words you have.
Great, cool. So I would like to use time to freeze her in time so that she stops moving, thinking, and being, right? I just want her to be frozen.
All right. That will make her... I think she's going to have a spirit save, if that's fair.
Sure. If I instead froze all the angels, what would that? Would they have a spirit save as well?
The angels, I would say no.
Okay, cool. I'm going to just freeze everything that she's doing then. Like all the angels, the people inside, everything, it just freezes in time. Except
whatever... Except her and your companions.
Here, I don't want to try to affect her because she's a pain. So instead, I'm just gonna affect all these other things and these companions I have. Yes, I will not freeze any of that.
Yeah, we were his companions.
Yeah, great. Now he's never gonna let me live that down, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna freeze everything else in order to make sure these people don't die, the angels don't get involved, and I'm gonna let the 3 of them deal with her.
All right.
Cool. So do I need to roll for that, or does it just happen?
It just happens. It's a gift or a miracle.
Done. A miracle. Cool. All right. That's my last effort, guys. So that's all I got. And I will say when I do that, like as you feel everything screech to a halt, I will say, y'all should know she's extremely dangerous, right? And then like go ahead.
Understatement. Gideon.
I am committed. I have a job to do here, and I'm sucking at it.
I am sorry that happened.
Here's my D20 roll. I am
20.
Yeah,
Harry
no, I'm
sees
still
the-
good. I can still use. It's for the scene. I commit effort for the scene to use those knives of darkness.
Yeah, so you don't have to keep committing effort, or it's committed until you revoke it.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a 10. My 5. Yeah, that's not enough.
Yeah.
I think that puts me at a 16.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Not enough. Alexi? You're muted. Now.
I drop down. I'm just there next to her since I can do that.
Yes.
And I will stab her in the eye. I will emulate. I will spend to emulate unerring blade. So I hit on anything but a 1 for max damage.
Cool.
Now let me show you how to roll the 1.
It's time.
Yes.
All right. That's not a 1.
So 4 points
you
then.
She is stabbed in the eye, but she somehow still lives.
And I go, we need you to do that more.
Ailu!
I want to grab her and fly away.
All right.
Nice.
So, yeah, you just kidnap this very dangerous person.
Well, they're trying to kill her, too.
Yes.
I'm explicitly trying to bring her back to reshape her. So, yeah, I just grab her in my claws and fly.
I'm imagining like Alex's big sword is still stuck in her eye, and then you just fly away with her, and then the sword teleports back to Alex's hand. So
That's perfect.
let's end it there since we're almost out of time, and by that I mean it is 7:30, and I still want to do Roses and Thorns
Okay.
and talk a bit.
Cool.
All right. Let's start with Thorns. I I definitely could have tried to not have something huge. I keep like it's so weird because that's the thing. I don't understand the whole actions per round thing because it's like or multiple attacks because PCs don't get that. It's like they're meant to be like solo fights, but it's like even as a solo fight, it's hard for the PCs.
It took me several sessions of running it to get a handle on the power level of the characters from the monsters in the book. I will admit that, like a bunch of sessions before I got that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's I would also I would say for me there's a bunch of stuff I'm still reading up on. Like I could have made more use of miracle stuff. So I'm not so sure that the multiple attacks were a bad thing. I think I was underusing the stuff I had at my disposal. I didn't use all my resources. So,
yeah.
But this is the first time I actually got to play, so it was still good and exciting for me because I'm going through here, trying to get it all in my head. So I don't think I don't see that in a bad way.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting. There's a whole bunch of resources. So I was trying I was like try some gifts. I'll try some sorcery. I'll try some miracles. I would say what's cool about the game is that it's so different than the kind of like beat by beat of even like Apocalypse World, where you're like, what do you do? And like, I have this gun, and there are those bad guys. I'm going to shoot them, right? Like that is so straightforward. Often with Apocalypse World, which is again the feature of that game, right? Is how straightforward it is. But here it's not straightforward, and I would wonder if it's a little cheesy, but I know that this is more of kind of like a MC or GM plotted game to think about maybe like doing like video games do, where you have like, okay, here's a bunch of mooks. What do you do? Okay, you've got mooks and like one kind of tougher villain. What do you do? Or like, here's an awkward situation with like there's a bunch of people in danger and you're supposed to save them. What do you do? And not worry so much about providing a really tough fight, because what's satisfying about that first hour of playing a video game is where you're like, oh, I just totally rocked that thing. And it's like, yeah, well, in 20 minutes, you're going to fight a villain twice as hard, but whatever. Right now, you feel really awesome about it. So I think having some scale to that would have been cool, so that I would have gotten to kind of try out the basics. And then when you're at the top, you're like, so we haven't talked about this before, but miracles, like you should probably check out page X, this miracles thing, especially for a one-shot. I don't know if that's helpful, but like that might be one way of thinking about structuring kind of short encounters in Godbound.
Because it's super satisfying, because then we get to use the fray die, which is our casual.
All right.
Right.
Yeah, so I think for me, there's a lot of resources here that I think may have been the balance for the players. I wasn't aware, and I am now, right? And I think that's a good thing. But I don't.
Yeah,
to do this again, I'd have done some things differently, but I didn't know that at the beginning. So
yeah, it's awkward for me because I'm kind of in the dungeon world-esque mindset where the characters are awesome, so I should be throwing the biggest things at them, which doesn't really work in Godbound or any other OSR game.
right.
So yeah, pretty much my biggest wish is that there is some sort of thing like Godbound in PBTA. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Brendan will get right on that.
Yeah.
Done.
Nice.
I think my thorn is going to be that, having just run it a lot but not played it, I made non-optimal choices about my gifts there. I mean, there were a couple of cool ones, but I did end up spending my miracle points to make up for gaps, and I kind of chose badly. And I thought I would. Oh, I've played this before. I don't know what I'm doing. No, you're an idiot, lol. So there we go. I felt kind of dumb about that.
And this is why I am kind of guiding you through Legacy.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brendan.
I think my thorn is that I don't think Godbound does a great job up front with characters who are disunited. Over time, when you play a campaign, I think it can be great. I think you can start arguing with each other. I think you can start butting heads. But right up front and out of the gate, having characters who do not have the construct of a party around them to unite them often makes things a lot harder. And I think for us, in some ways, the biggest example of that was specifically Eric, which, like, it made perfect sense. Eric was like, yeah, I want to keep Venant away from you, and my goal is specifically at odds with you, and why would I participate in this combat? It seems like she's got it well in hand, and I'm not actually in danger, and I'm fine if she wipes the floor with you. Which then feeds back into the whole Godbound balance thing of, if all four of us are supposed to be fighting her and one of us isn't, then that's a little off, and so on and so forth. So I feel like there was something going on there as well.
All right. Roses, I loved party dynamic. Like, despite that, I loved the party dynamics. Like, the whole banter. Yep. That is great job.
My rose is going to be this, Maria. You're a relatively new GM, and I thought you did a great job letting us set up the scene, letting us set up the world, and then reincorporating ideas. The kinds of skills that I did not have at your age at all. And so I was really pleased and happy to see that. Really good.
Thank you.
I concur.
Yeah. My rose is the character creation. You killed it. Like, I was really nervous coming into this, being like, look at how excited Brendan is. Like, I was like, oh man, we're gonna roll these stats, and I'm gonna have to understand all this shit. I'm gonna have to pick for these words, and how's this gonna work? And you gave us what like at Magpie, we talk a lot about what we call holding environments, which is like, what are the non-mechanical rules of the social situation, and how do those help us get into a story faster? So if you look at Monster Hearts, we all go to a high school together. well, we got to talk to each other all the time. We're in the same classes. We know the same people. Like there's a holding environment there. And you built one for Godbound that allowed us to jump into the game right away. And that's some awesome design work and GM work that like, I was like, oh yeah, I assign these stats. I pick one of these guys I work for, done. Right. And that is like, we finished in like 45 minutes. That is fantastic. So you should really be applauded. And if I ran Godbound for a one shot, like at a convention or something, I would absolutely steal that. I think it is really short. Well done.
All right.
I mean, besides the fact that Mark's a complete asshole because he just stole my rose.
I know it. It took
Like-
mine too.
Seriously, but I just want to emphasize, I have thought for a little while. I'm like, yeah, I have no idea how Godbound makes sense in a one shot. I'd run it in a one shot once, and it was a little bit of a mess. In that one, I used pre-constructed characters, which did not have the same effect because those choices were not made by the players, so they didn't have the same investment in them. And you nailed this perfect balance of figuring out how to get us to make the choices, but restricting those choices. So instead of flipping around and being like, I could be like bow, but also fire, and also knight. And then I have all of these gifts to choose from. And we didn't have this massive quandary of how many things to pick, but simultaneously we had things to pick and we're invested in those choices. So that was like superb.
I kind of it was inspired / stole it from Lowell when he ran Godbound Scion. So
It's good. It's good.
that's
It's really good.
his mostly his part, I guess.
You made it stronger. I think you gave us more room to work in than I gave you guys.
Yeah, I would say for me, stealing again from Brendan and Mark, where I'd run this, and I think I will starting next year. I have to pick I do a lot of tours and cons, and so probably the hardest thing is trying to figure out how to get Godbound to the table for one shot. And there are a lot of games that I don't do that with because it's a lot of front loading, and you short circuit all that here with your spreadsheet, and I love it. So I will steal that from you because I'm stealing from everybody today.
Great.
And because it makes it compact, nice and easy. Like Mark said, 45 minutes, we're up and playing, and that's key. That's crucial. So that was a great job.
Yeah. And thank you. But also, my initial intent with this one shot was kind of like, you'll notice that it was called Pilot. Like it was. So I was thinking of maybe running something similar with the Gauntlet itself. I'm not sure if I still want to do that because that was me thinking months back. And then, but yeah, again, I would much rather run this in PBTA. But, but yeah.
Well, there's a lot of similarities between this and PBTA. I mean, if you talk to Vincent about how Apocalypse World came about, it actually started because he was running a lot of first edition D&D, right? And the idea is that they share this similarity. There's a couple big similarities. One is they go moment by moment. So you're always asking, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? That's different than like Burning Wheel, where an entire week's worth of conflicts can be compressed down to one roll.
Yep.
Right. So, and often are, right? Whereas in PBTA, you have to write like a special move for like a week's long conflict, right? So the way I think about it when I run stuff like this is, okay, how can I, and you did this a lot. You actually so what's your intent? Like, you've said a lot of things. Are you just holding? I'm like, yeah, I'm just holding. You're like, awesome. you can hold all you want, Mark, but like, I just need to be clear about what you're trying to do. So you can do that same thing here. And all you're doing is, rather than having moves, you're just saying, cool, like, I hear your intent is to harm her. I hear your intent is to figure out what's going on. Make your roll. And I'm going to give you either a full success or a partial success or whatever. You can even say like, there's some range of partial success if you want to do that. But like the goal is to get to the point where you're going beat by beat, right? And I would say that giving yourself the time as a GM to set up low-level conflicts that escalate over time will help you feel, I think, a little bit less like you gotta nail it. Because if you're like taking it slow, one step at a time, you're not so worried about each scene working, right? Because they just kind of spiral into the goal is like, oh yeah, you meet with this person. And it doesn't matter how it goes. If it goes well, cool. If it goes poorly, cool. But we're just going to go beat by beat. And so I think, yeah, the cool thing for me was like being in the fight and being like, oh yeah, usually I would just be like, I guess I hit her. But now I'm like, whoa, I could hit her, or I could like do this whole miracle thing, which is awesome, right? So I think there's a lot of cool stuff there that you've tapped into that would make for a good show if you can get a good set of characters.
Cool. If there's any parting words, or are
I had a great time. I loved everybody's characters, so I got to say that is a thing I really enjoyed.
Yes.
The creation there.
But it's always and that's always the sad part, right? Because I'm like, man, these characters are cool. Can we get together next week? Play? I want to see these guys again, right? Don't leave me out here like this. I need you. So yeah, no, this is good stuff. I appreciate you running it because, like I said, I have the book. I've been wrestling with how to get it to the table. My guys won't play it. They're indie snobs. They won't play.
Again, make this PBTA and. But yeah, thank you for playing with me, and I am honored to have each and every one of you, because not only because you're of your stance, but you are also great, all of you.
No, you're great. You're great.
I had fun.
This was fun.
Thank you so much for running.
Yeah, that was great. Good. Thanks, Maria.
No problem. I will stop the broadcast now.